It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's a Monday morning, the start of a brand new week, and this is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso on SABC3. Now, last week, Tuesday, marked Google's 20th birthday. Of course, a big influence in shaping the modern-day internet into what we know it as today. But have you ever wondered why Google even started in the first place? Well, we're joined by our tech expert, Brian Smith, who has promised to let us know exactly what Google has done for the internet. I'm assuming a great deal,
Very
Brian.
much so.
And last week, we were like, happy 20th birthday, but take us back to the very beginning, the big why Google was started.
Absolutely. So in the 1990s, as ironic as it sounds now, we didn't really have a clear idea of what we were going to use the internet for. And fast forward to today, that's a very different world indeed. So what a number of companies did at the time was debut search engines which would index web pages by relevance.
Yes.
And at the time, the common practice was to mine or scrape a certain web page for a term that one could search for. And the idea was the more that term appeared in the search page, hence the more relevant that page would be to a user. Google was actually started as a company called Backrub by Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Yes, Backrub.
Okay.
Thank goodness for Google. And what Google did different principally was that it rather calculated the amount of links flowing to a page as a marker of relevance rather than how many times a specific term appeared on that page.
Okay, and that's exactly where it started out back then. And since then, what do you think Google has actually done for the internet? More than, like you said, give us a direction into which we could say, well, this is what the internet is for.
I think the biggest marker of Google's success is that for the average person connecting today to the internet, Google is the internet. It's your gateway to information and a plethora of other services, from web-based email to documents to calendar to even entertainment on YouTube. And I think the biggest mark of Google's success is that it's been able to organize the web and that it makes most information far easier to access for the average person.
Yeah, but it's also done its own mining in acquiring a lot of individual personal information that has aided, I think, advertising agencies and companies out there. So
Definitely.
Where are they heading? What's the future of Google looking like?
So that's a good point, in that Google's been very successful in creating new industries and economies for itself. And to break down that heinous jargon, what I mean is that where Google realized that it already conquered the world with search, it then went on to acquire and develop Android as the platform for mobile phones, so you're already accessing Google from your mobile phone. And going forward into the next 10 years, Google's priority, its main focus will likely be trying to connect the next 3 billion people in the world who haven't been on the internet yet.
Wow.
And if you can consider that's not only great for democracy and citizenship on the internet, but also great for Google's business.
Yeah. Could anyone ever challenge Google? Do you think like there's somebody out there who's thinking about the next evolution of search engines or internet connectivity that could possibly take over Google?
That's an excellent question. What at the moment Google has is monopoly, essentially, for better or for worse. They do have great products, but it's never great to have one sole competitor. What a lot of lawmakers in the United States and abroad are considering is regulation to retain these monopolies and at least create competition. So it's very likely in the future we may have products that might debut with a different focus that can at least compete to Google and hopefully not just be totally undermined by its dominance.
Yeah, well, the future will remain to be seen. Thanks very much for joining us. As always, Brian Smith, much appreciated. Let us know, link up with us on our social media pages, which you probably accessed via Google. What do you think the internet would be like without Google? And of course, use hashtag Expresso Show when you are interacting with us on social media.